For 3 decades, Brian Urlacher built a reputation as one of the fiercest and most respected linebackers in professional football, a dominant defensive force whose name became synonymous with toughness, leadership, and unwavering loyalty to the Chicago Bears. Yet beneath the roaring stadium crowds and the bone-crushing tackles was a quieter, far more complex reality that few truly understood. To the public, Urlacher was the ultimate warrior on the field, relentless in pursuit, emotionally intense, and fully committed to the game that defined his identity from the moment he entered the NFL. His shaved head, piercing stare, and commanding presence turned him into a symbol of defensive excellence, earning accolades, Pro Bowl selections, and eventually a place among the sport's all-time greats. But while fans saw the gladiator battling under bright lights every Sunday, another life unfolded away from the cameras, one filled with private struggles, personal responsibilities, emotional burdens, and the constant effort to reconcile fame with normalcy. For nearly 30 years, from his rise as a college standout to his retirement and Hall of Fame recognition, Urlacher navigated 2 parallel existences: the public persona of an indestructible sports icon and the private individual grappling with family matters, legal disputes, personal losses, and the psychological toll that elite competition exacts on the human spirit. The double life was not about scandal or deception in the cinematic sense. Rather, it was the stark contrast between perception and reality, between the myth of the fearless linebacker and the man who endured injuries, surgeries, and the long-term physical consequences that linger long after the cheers fade. Like many professional athletes, Urlacher faced the pressure to project strength at all times, never showing weakness, never admitting fear, never revealing the vulnerability that naturally accompanies high-stakes careers. Behind closed doors, however, he dealt with the strain of co-parenting challenges, media scrutiny, and deeply personal tragedies that tested his resilience in ways no opponent ever could. The emotional complexity of balancing fatherhood, fame, and the expectations of millions created a quiet weight that he carried for decades, a burden invisible to those who saw only highlights and trophies. Retirement did not erase this duality. In many ways, it intensified it. Without the structure of football, Urlacher had to redefine himself beyond the field, confronting the identity crisis that many athletes face when the sport that shaped their entire adult life suddenly disappears. The physical toll of years of collisions lingered, while the mental adjustment required a new kind of discipline, learning to exist without the adrenaline, without the locker room camaraderie, and without the weekly validation of performance. Yet throughout it all, he maintained a composed exterior, rarely allowing the public to glimpse the full spectrum of his internal battles. The narrative of a double life speaks to the broader truth about celebrity and professional sports. The version presented to the world is often curated, simplified, and heroic, while the private reality is layered, messy, and deeply human. Urlacher's journey underscores how easily society elevates athletes into symbols, rather than recognizing them as multidimensional individuals navigating complex personal landscapes. For 30 years, he balanced this dichotomy with remarkable control, ensuring that the legend of Brian Urlacher the linebacker never overshadowed his commitment to family and personal integrity, even when circumstances grew challenging. The revelation is not a shocking secret but a powerful reminder that behind every celebrated career lies an unseen story of endurance, sacrifice, and emotional labor. In retrospect, the idea that no one knew reflects how thoroughly he compartmentalized his worlds, how effectively he shielded loved ones from the glare of fame while delivering peak performance on the field. It also highlights the cultural tendency to overlook the private costs of public greatness. Urlacher's experience is emblematic of a generation of athletes who were expected to be invincible both physically and emotionally, rarely afforded the space to admit vulnerability. As conversations around mental health and athlete well-being have evolved, his story resonates more deeply, revealing how much strength it truly takes to uphold an image while quietly confronting personal storms. Ultimately, the double life was not about living falsely but about surviving dual expectations, being both icon and individual, warrior and father, public figure and private soul. His legacy, therefore, extends beyond tackles and championships. It encompasses resilience in the face of unseen trials, dignity amid scrutiny, and the courage to navigate life's complexities without allowing them to derail his professional excellence. In recognizing this fuller portrait, fans can appreciate not only the greatness of the athlete but the humanity of the man who carried 2 worlds on his shoulders for 3 decades.